Hare Krishna. So we have His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu. I think he just joined. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Jagannath Shrupa, Hare Krishna. I think class is better. Hare Bol, Jagannath Shrupa.
Thank you, Prabhu, for your valuable time and joining His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu. All the Lansing devotees, know you very. We have some devotees from outside too. So just want to, share. As you all know, he's our inspiration here. Yugal Kishore Prabhu.
Servant of Abraham Gopal Prabhu.
Many places he's been traveling and inspiring devotees, and now in the lockdown situation, Prabhuji is even more busy because he's doing conference call to different places, sitting at the same time. More and more requests he's accommodating. He's having projects going on different places and inspiring people all over the world. Great opportunity for all of us to hear from Prabhuji today. Prabhuji actually has been not going at any places unless devotees are chanting 32 rounds. So, we are just so fortunate that, Prabhuji accepted our request, even though we have no qualification. But now he's here, so hopefully, by the time, Prabhuji comes next time, many of us may be able to chant 32 rounds, on a regular basis, if not every day, at least on a regular basis, like Prabhuji said in his talk over the weekend. So before taking any more time, I'll request Prabhuji to kindly, enlighten us by his words of wisdom, and the best chance for all the devotees to ask questions from Prabhuji, from anything and anywhere. Prabhuji, mic is all yours. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Abraham Gopal Prabhu. Honestly speaking, you are my inspiration, and being a grihastha, married, and a very demanding job, actually. You are in the front lines during this Corona thing. I really do not know anyone has glorified you and Mataji for your courage. We are all sitting at home and very peacefully trying to speak, but you are doing the actual practical. Everyone is scared of death. At any second of your work time, you would be confronted by that every day, more so now with this Corona thing. So all glories to you and Mataji for standing in the front lines, during Corona. That is true warrior, actually. I am very grateful for your association and for your courage, for your devotional attitude. Still, apart from just doing sadhana on your on personal level, you're able to bring people, you're able to give Krishna consciousness to others. That is very commendable. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
So, what is that? All of you, I hope you are doing very well, and I know it's very demanding. The time is not so good. Everyone has to stay home. It's difficult, I agree, but I really appreciate all of you for, somehow continuing the life with full enthusiasm and patience during this pandemic situation. I'm sorry, but at the same time, I appreciate for endurance, for your endurance and patience and tolerance. Of course, Krishna must have given you a lot of strength. I also pray to Krishna to give you continuous strength. It's not easy. But one good thing that we can learn is the world is always like this, not that this is happening for the first time. And without wasting time, I'll continue. So I can see some of you, some few devotees I know. Hope you're all doing very well. Ajnanatammirandasya jnananjana shulakaya chakshuronmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shabdantikam Andeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Sri Guron Vaishnavam Shri Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunadan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padahan Sagana Lalita Shiv Shakanitam Shri Krishna Karunasindhu दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कंत राधा कंत नमोस्तुते सप्तगांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वंशकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिंधु जीव पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं परमानन्दं Once again, very grateful to your, grateful for your association. I'm grateful and honored to be with you today. And he asked me to speak on. Prahlad Maharaj prayers. Just give me 1 minute. Hare Krishna. So, I have a question for all of you. Do we know the value of our life? Very important. How many of us know we will get a face like this, a body like this, a health like this? We don't know. So, did you make a decision to come into this world? And when you are 20s, 30s, you will face Corona? No, we don't know that. So, I just want to explain to you the rarity of the human life. If, like imagine Pacific Ocean, and there is a log. This log has a hole in it. Then somewhere there is a tortoise, and Americans call it tortoise. It is coming to the surface. What is the probability that the neck of the tortoise gets into the hole of this log? What is the probability? 0. Especially, this head. What is the probability of this neck of the turtle getting into the hole of the log, facing towards east on Ekadasi day? Is it possible? Impossible. That much rare our human life is. None of us knew we'll take birth in 1980, 1995, whatever, I'm a little older than all of you. So this human life in that evolution, we are going through this 8.4 million living entities. In that evolution, we get this human life. But this human life has a rarity. I mean, even though it is rarity, it has one value. What is that? Tadyapi adruvam artadam. Though it is temporary, it is very valuable. Why? We don't need to get this human body at all. No need. We can go back to Godhead. By awakening our dormant Krishna consciousness, we can go back to Godhead. We can go back to Godhead actually. But problem is, we have been going through so many species. Every species, when we are in a dog, a beast, bird, reptile, when we are in that bodies, we knew 4 things. eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. Ahara nidra bhayam. But when we came to this human life, because we have been trained for these four things, when we come to human life, we do the same thing. We can do the same thing. We will do the same thing, not knowing that this human body is rare. Today he was asking me to speak on Prahlad Charitra, but I want to tell a story. There is a Russian scientist by name Ian Pavlov. He did this experiment. So what he did, he created a box, and he put 2 electrodes in that box, and a switch. If you press on the switch, a piece of bread will come. If you press on this switch, electric shock would come. So the mouse ran and pressed the button, and it came. Great. And mouse came this side, hoping the bread would come, press the button, electric shock came. Oh. So before the mouse understood, here the shock comes, here the bread comes. The Ian Pavlov, what he did, he exchanged the electrodes, where earlier you would get bread, now you would get the shock here. Now where you would get the shock, you would get the bread. When he exchanged like that, the mouse was so confused. The mouse started running back and forth, bread and shock, shock and bread and shock. He opened the doors of this. He opened the doors of this box, and he kept bread, fruits, chocolates, ice cream, without shock. There is no shock. Just get out of this and eat all these things. Variety of happiness. But this mouse was so much used to bread and shock. Mouse was running aimlessly, looking for bread, but receiving shock, and looking for bread. But the mouse never got out of the box. You like the story? It's not a story, it's a real. And somebody told me they did the same experiment in IIT Mumbai, the Ian Pavlov experiment. So that is our state of affairs in the human life. Nobody takes it seriously, spiritual life. Lord Chaitanya and Gadadhar Pandit, they would together discuss, read Prahlad's story. Oh, what a personality. Now, some of you have a mathematical background. Some of you, you may be, it's called mathematical induction. If you're 10% happy, somebody is 20% happy. Another person is 30% happy. Another person is 40% happy. Another person is 50% happy. But you should know, there is no 100% happiness here. 100% happiness is there only in the spiritual world. 100% happiness is there only in the spiritual world. That we can attain it. So Prahlad, Hiranya, we have 2 personalities. Hiranyakasipu, he did immense austerity. Hiranyakasipu did immense austerity, standing on his toes with the hands raised. He did 100 100 celestial years he did tapasya. Wow. So we chant, 16 rounds. So, we chant our rounds, our mind goes here and there. When will the rounds come to end? When you come to actually 12th round, some confidence enters the heart. You agree? So as soon as you come to the 12th round, some confidence, 13th round, you fill your heart with you fill your lungs with the air. Wow. Like in a hot summer, in a stream of cool air comes. 14th round comes. In that same summer, it's so hot. Somebody comes and a piece of gulab jamun they give you. That is 15th round. The 16th round, and they give you cool sharbat with so many sweets for the for the for the change of taste. They give you some snack, hot snack, and all these things happening in the beach. Oh, wow, that's how you feel when you chant 16th round. Anyone has any experience like that? The Prabhu in front of me is raising actually. Why? It is not easy to fight with mind, right? But anyway, so Prahlad, Hiranyakasipu was doing austerity. He stood on his toes, his hands raised, intense tapasya he did. If you are chanting 1 round, 2 rounds, we are calling you devotee. But Bhagavatam doesn't call. Hiranyakasipu probably must have prayed for, he must have done tapasya for 10,000 years, let us say approximately. Still he is called a demon. Why? Because he is doing tapasya for sense gratification. In other words, somebody is doing tapasya for material things. They are also demons. We will not have horns here, but we are. But anyway, Hiranyakasipu did that, and he created a fire. Please mute. He created a fire. That fire started burning the universe. To cut the story short, Brahma came and sprinkled water on his body. And the body became immune to disease. Body doesn't know old age and disease. And with that power, he conquered the 14 planet systems. Sometimes, you become little old, maybe in your 30s and 40s, health issues. You want to eat one more gulab jamun, maybe fear for diabetes. Hiranyakasipu doesn't have problems, sirs. And on the top of it, 14 planet system is conquered. People look for green card. Today there is a saying, green card at the graveyard. The way things are going on right now. You may get green card only after 30, 40 years. Somebody is telling, I don't know, I'm joking. So, but Hiranyakasipu doesn't need green card. He has all the 14 planet systems, they are under his control, including America, earthly planet. And Indra, Chandra, Varuna, everybody, Narada Muni is telling, except Brahma, Lord Shiva and Vishnu, we all would go and sing mantras. Om Hiranyakasipaya Namaha. I have a question for all of you. Should I ask you this question? Should I ask you a question?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
How many of you think Hiranyakasipu is happy? Old age is not visible, disease is not visible, death is not visible. So what is his prayer to Brahma? Brahma gave it. I should not die in daytime, I should not die in the nighttime. I should not be killed by any of your living entities. Trust me, this is not a time pass story. I should not be killed by any of your living entities. Anybody created by you. And there is no visible old age. Body is like an iron thing because Brahma sprinkled water. He conquered 14 planet systems. All the Devatas, Narada Muni is telling, they would worship him. My request to all of you, is Hiranyakasipu happy? Be honest. One person unmute and tell me. Huh?
No, Prabhu.
No, Prabhuji.
Wow. Hiranyakasipu is not happy? Then Prabhu, whatever the whole world whatever we are working for is wrong then. He doesn't have just green card. He conquered the 14 planet systems. All the prime ministers and presidents that time on the earth planet, they were worshipping him. He's not happy or telling anything he can eat next day he can evacuate nicely, he can enjoy nicely. You're telling he's not happy? Huh?
He
Why
wanted
he's not
more.
happy? That's what somebody's telling something. What is that?
He wanted maybe more. That's why he's not happy.
Prabhuji, the 14 planetary systems in his control, Prabhuji.
Oh,
He just doesn't feel happy.
What is that?
He just doesn't feel happy.
Why? When the Black Friday comes, we all go and we bring the entire Walmart to our home, right?
Because he is scared of death.
There is no death.
Prabhuji, I think he was happy until he came to know about how that Prahlad is a devotee. Till that time, he was very happy. I think after that, he thought that, somebody, my own kid is not worshipping me. So that made him not unhappy, actually angry that, why he is a devotee of my enemy who killed my brother. So till
But
that time, until he came to know, he was happy. I think so.
okay, yes. But Bhagavatam doesn't say that. Until Prahlad was born, he was very happy, and Prahlad started giving trouble. Bhagavatam doesn't say that. We can all learn that first point. Believe me, I wish everybody in the world knew this. I read it many times. Why he's not happy? If he's there, he would occupy the front page of Forbes magazine. Right? He has a beautiful body. There is nobody who would say no to him. And he has what he wants. Let me tell you, the temperature at 90 degrees.
I think because he was always wanted more, and he was a little greedy, and he had an ego problem. So he wasn't happy.
Okay. But the problem is our ego, there is somebody else to, confront, but he doesn't have anybody to confront. Nice point you made. So somebody hinted it nicely, I agree. So anyway, the point is, this is the first lesson today. Sayitta nirjita kakub ekarad vishayan priyan yatopadosham bunjano natrapya ajitendriya
Hare
natrapya.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, Hiranyakashipu was envious of Lord because of he was unhappy.
Okay. This is the verse. Sayitta nirjita kakub ekarad vishayan priyan yatopadosham bunjano natrapya ajitendriya. So even having all these things, one is expected to be happy. That's what actually we look only 1 billionth portion of what he had. But that's why that's the point. Why he is unhappy? The word trupti, not truptiya. He was not happy. Why? Because instead of controlling the mind and senses, he became the victim of mind and senses. The nature of the mind, you enjoy this much, a little more. If you enjoy senses, a little more. I've conquered the 14 planetary systems. Maybe next universe I want to conquer. Maybe next universe I want to conquer. If you eat one gulab jamun, one more. If you enjoy some sense gratification, little more. How many of you agree? Always, if you have 1 million, mind says 2 millions. If you have 2 million, mind says 4. I don't know. Whether if you use your senses, sense gratification, little more prestige, little more fame, little more money. How many of us agree? Let us be honest. And if you multiply into billion, that's what he had, still he was unhappy. So ladies and gentlemen, Mataji and Prabhuji, my first point is sense gratification doesn't give happiness. Sense control gives happiness. Contrary, Prahlad did not have all these things, but Prahlad was happy. Why? Because he sense controlled, a devotee of Krishna. And Mataji made a point, he was envious of Vishnu. So he has an iron body, free from old age, disease and death, visibly death. Death is very far. He conquered everything because he did not control his mind and senses, because he harbored envy, he harbored greed, he harbored lust. He harbored lust, he was unhappy. So ladies and gentlemen, we should utilize our Prabhuji and Mataji, we should utilize our human life to get rid of the impurities, not to make it more. So human life is so rare. One day, Indra, he was cursed to become a pig. We call it groundhog. And what he did, he conquered. It says he found a female pig, and he conquered a big drainage. He established his kingdom, right? And he gave birth to so many piglets. So the time of his curse ended. The time of his curse ended. Brahma said, "Indra, come back. There is a position vacant. There's nobody to rule." But by the power of Maya, Indra was so happy eating stool and taking care of, enjoying, sense enjoyment with his wife and taking care of his piglets. Indra said, "Don't disturb me. I'm blissful. I'm blissful eating stool. I'm very happy." And Brahma said, "Indra, what are you talking? You're Indra." Indra said, "No." And Indra's wife is watching this whole thing, Mother Sachi. For her, it is a culture shock. My husband is saying like this, what is this? That's the power of Maya. If only I have 5-bedroom home. If only I have little more, F1 to H1, H1 to green card, I'll be happy. Green card to citizenship, then I'll be happy. Anyway, so human life is meant to, let's say, can you imagine the Indra's position eating stool and he's telling he's very happy? That is our position today. That is our position today. We should utilize our human life to get rid of the impurities, not accumulate them. So today we'll discuss Prahlad teachings to his friends. We will discuss today Prahlad teachings to his friends. So, what is that? Prahlad teachings to his friends. What is Prahlad teachings to his friends? Prahlad is telling, so they put him in the school.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, do you want to do PowerPoint? Do you want to share your screen or something like that?
Actually, this is the thing. I can share. It's not a problem. Just give me a minute. I'll share.
And then you can share.
My only thing is I want to go fast.
Yes. I can understand.
It's like 20-30 verses.
Yeah, I made you the host, I think.
I didn't make PowerPoint.
Oh.
Actually, no. What is that?
Bhagavatam.
What is that?
I have, made you the host. So if you want to change it, like share the screen, whatever way, or share the verse, in case you want to do any of that.
I can share. It's not a problem. So there's a Kaumara Dachara Prajna Dharman Bhagavataniha Durlabam Manusha Janmam Tadyapi Adrum Artha. So he's telling, this human life, one has to be Krishna conscious at day one. Kaumara. Why? You all have a bank account, right? 50 years later, that will be there, but we won't be there. But if you have a bhakti account, that will come with you every life after life after life. They'll come with you life after life after life. So he's telling, become Krishna conscious today. What day? As early as 5. What happens if not? Then this is the one. What happens? Verse number 5. So he's telling, Pumso Varsha Sadamaish, Tadardam Chajitatmana, Nishpalam Yad Asoratriam, Setendam Prapidastama. We live only 100 years. Trust me, today nobody lives 100 anyway. You know, we live only 100 years. And for a person who cannot control his senses, 50% is gone in sleep only. What is the second point? 50% is gone in sleep only. Okay, you say, no, I sleep only 6 hours. Okay, 25 years. How many of us know? If you sleep every day 6 hours, 25 years of your life is gone. You ever thought of it? In childhood, children think sleep 20 hours. First year, second year, first year children sleep at least 15 to 20 hours. Then slowly 12 hours, 13 hours. Then up to 10th grade, people will sleep 10 hours. In the old age, they sleep a lot because they don't have anything to do. So on average, you can say 10 hours, sleep is gone. So what is 10 hours? 40% of your life is gone. If you live 100 years, 40 years gone in sleep only. Hare Krishna. Prahlad is telling 50%. How many of you thought of this? Did you think of this before? Thank you. Then, okay, let us see. Mukta Shebalya Kashore, Kridato Yati Vimsati, Jaraya Grashta Dehasya, Yati Kalpasya Vimsati. First 10 years, your friend will come to your home, your relatives, your mom will give your ball to him. Start crying. This is my ball, this is my ball, this is my ball. After 2 years, you will forget the ball also. First 10 years, you don't know who you are. Next 10 years, studies only. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. If you are a doctor, you will study up to 30 years also. Studying only. So first 20 years, I have a question for all of you. How many of you, did anyone tell you goal of life is this? Always we look our face, I look, if only I would look little more beautiful, that's first 20 years is gone. By the time you finish your education, 25, then you need a job. You got a job also. Then you need marriage. You got married, you're married also. Then children. Suddenly at the age of 30, somebody says, hey, come to a Krishna program. Okay. 30 years over only. You agree? Please. How many of us agree? Somebody comes and tells, hey, you are not the body. I don't think so. What is your name? Who are you? I am X. I am not asking your name. Who are you? I'm Indian. I'm not asking your nationality. Who are you? I'm a human being. I'm not asking your gender. Who are you? So first 20, 30 years are gone. They are wasted. Durapena kamena mohena cha baliyasa sesham premshu saktasya pramatasya syaba yatihi pramatasya yatihi. Those who cannot control his senses, he'll be attached to family life. And actually, I'm not telling her. Prahlad is telling. Please, don't find fault with me. I don't want to show the screen. He said to put the screen on. So, okay. Abraham Gopal Prabhu, can you read the translation of that verse?
Yes, Prabhu. One whose mind and senses are uncontrolled becomes increasingly attached to family life because of insatiable lusty desires and very strong illusion. In such a madman's life, the remaining years are also wasted because even during those years he cannot engage himself in devotional service.
Yeah. So what is the goal of life? I have 2 kids. So 3 kids I have. Whatever I didn't achieve, let me achieve through them. My father died 35 years ago. Nobody talks about him. Correct. One time, anyway, को गृहेश उपमान सकता आत्माना मजिदेन्द्रिय स्नेह पासैर दृढ़ैर बद्धम उत्साहिता विमोचितम. Anyway, let me know what the point I'm trying to tell is, ladies and gentlemen, you have very little time left. After 20-30 years, we don't know who we are. Old age, we become invalid. Actually, I'll tell you. I got a job in MetLife in America. That is great. What is my happiness? Not even the 7 generations from my mother's side or father's side, nobody went out of the country. I'm the first one. And second, the day I landed, it snowed in America, in Albany, New York. I was so happy. Why? I am the only one in my entire family who saw the snow. That's it. I'm the only one who saw snow. I'm the only one who came to America first time. That illusion used to continue for a long time. That's a different thing. So anyway, my point to you, first 20, 30 years, we don't know who we are. Then work, then the last, anyway, so I got a job in New York City. One day I went to New York City. This young, not an old American lady, it was freezing cold actually. She sat at the entrance and she told me, never become old, as though it is in our hands. I said, why? Because, your the body starts giving trouble. Never become old. So my point to you, I'm taking a little break here and tell you. So one day I opened a New York Times newspaper and I read in the office. I used to work with MetLife. Should I continue?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So I opened New York Times newspaper and I read, Ronald Reagan fell in the bathroom and broke his hip. Then I thought, wow. So I thought if I go to hospital and tell him, sir, 1930, 40, 50, 60, you're a Hollywood star. Means what? You have so much money, name and fame, people all over the world watch your movies, and you're beautiful, and you have so many facilities for sense gratification. That's what people want. You have it. But what you didn't have in your resume, power. That also you got it. 2 times California governor, 1960. Then you got little more power added. American president, the most powerful person on the planet Earth. Right? I felt like this. Sir, think of those good olden days. And today you forget your suffering. What you will say? Fool number 1. How much I enjoyed yesterday, years, decades, it doesn't matter. I should enjoy today. I should have a good hip today. I should be American president today. I should be Hollywood star today. I should have a good health today. Good digestive power today. How much I enjoyed yesterday, it doesn't matter. How many of us agree? Do you agree? But what, sir? So body is a machine. Cell phone lasts only 5-6 years. Likewise, body is a machine. Not that machine will stop abruptly. It starts failing. That time you cannot say, look, I was American president, you work nicely. No. So because he was born in 1912, 11, for him 2000, I thought for me, maybe in another 30 years to come. Even if I make so much money by that time, it doesn't work. My machine has to give me trouble anyway. You should know, this one thing changed my life. I read Bhagavad Gita. 1 year later, I joined full time. I'm not telling you join full time. I'm telling you become serious, please. So first 20 years is gone. Last 20 years is gone in old age. What is remaining? 10 years. Right? So my request to you, please. I joined full time and so many years are over now. I am not realized yet. But I want to tell you one thing. I've gone definitely far in spiritual life. But I am not there yet. Why I'm telling you, I'm not telling you join full time anyway, we don't have any place to offer you. Stay where you are. Sthane sthita shrutigata tanvan manobir. You go to bathroom every day sincerely, clean the body, come out and clean the heart. Come out and clean the heart. Saviram Gopal Prabhu is married, he has wife, he has kid. But what he's doing is he's actually accumulating his bank account, bhakti bank account, which will come, which is the only thing that will come with him. He knew that from his college days. Cleanse the heart, remove the illusion, don't accumulate the illusion. One day, one devotee asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, what is the difference between Golok and Vaikuntha? Prabhupada said, for you, they are both same because right now your mind is in America, California. So we don't need to ask big questions. Simple thing. But one thing that is not here, but I want to tell. Bhakti. What is impossible for the devotee? On one hand, we have a character, Hiranyakasipu, he had everything but miserable. On another hand, we have Prahlad. He had nothing. But he was blissful because he was not envious. I was reading the qualities of Prahlad. He was not envious. He was not interested in fruitive activities. For him, nothing attracted him in the material world. Sense controlled. And he controlled his mind and senses. Mahatma! Wow. 5-year-old boy. Can you imagine? 5-year-old boys, parents they love, school they hate. But Prahlad got the problem from the father. What a personality, huh? What is Prahlad telling? Naisha madistavadurukramangram. Sprasatyanarda bhagamo itarda mahi yasham padarojabhishekam nishkinchananam naprunitayavat. You want to become a bhakti yogi? Not reading the verses, not doing tapasya like Hiranyakasipu. Worship, look for a great devotee, worship his lotus feet. Take the dust from his feet and apply on the body. One time, one devotee, what they did? Take the dust from the feet of the body and smear on your body. Doesn't mean you push devotee on the ground and take dust from his feet, not like that. Become a servant of your Guru. Servant of a devotee. Very interesting. There is a devotee by name Jayananda Prabhu. He never considered qualified to sit in front of Prabhupada. He never considered qualified to sit in front of Prabhupada. If anybody sleeps in the class of Prabhupada, Prabhupada would scold them. Bhagavatam class I am speaking, you are sleeping. But when Jayananda Prabhu would sleep, Prabhupada said, shh, don't disturb him. Wow. When Prabhupada would come to airport, he would tell everyone, guys, you go to airport, I'll do your work. Amazing. One day Prabhupada asked, in the airport, Kirtan was going on, thousands of people jumping and dancing. Prabhupada said, where is Jayananda? Where is Jayananda? Why your Guru is asking you? Amazing. He was an engineer from Ohio. But he was frustrated with the material world, the American, what is it, the culture, and he became a taxi driver in New York. Then he met Prabhupada. Sometimes he and Prabhupada only two, but he understood my Guru is exalted. My Guru is super exalted. And then he worked for Prabhupada. He started Rath Yatra for Prabhupada. He worked very hard for Prabhupada. It's not easy. What is Jayananda Prabhu specialized in speciality? He would convince any American. He would convince any American and engage them in bhakti. Can you imagine you both, we did Rath Yatra in Lansing. 700 people came just because of your hardship together. 700 people got the opportunity to open bhakti account or accumulate in the bhakti account. Wow. These are very pleasing to Krishna. These are very pleasing to Radharani, Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya. And Jayananda Prabhu got cancer. And so people gave him money, he would use that money for Rath Yatra. One day one boy came to the temple and nobody talked to him. This is all Indian culture. The boy thought, this is not good, So he walked out, almost he stepped out and wanted to never come again. At the entrance, there was a cart. One person was working on the cart. Who was that? Jayananda Prabhu. This boy was only 16 years old. He said, call him, come. Can you help me? Put the nails. Yes, he said, I can do it. All right, put the nails. He started putting the nails. Oh, how nicely you did it. Great, amazing. I never saw anybody putting nail like that. I was inspired. You want to put one more nail? Yes, put here. So the boy started, he wanted to leave and he wanted to never come here again because of the tiny encouragement he received from Jayananda Prabhu. The boy kept putting nails and Jayananda Prabhu gave him present and said, come tomorrow. We'll finish putting the nails on the cart. The boy was impressed, and who is that boy? Jayapatak Swami. 60,000 disciples Jayapatak Swami has today. You cannot imagine ISKCON without Jayapatak Swami. But Jayapatak Swami wanted to never come to ISKCON. But because of that tiny appreciation he received, encouragement he received from Jayananda Prabhu, Jayapatak Swami came back. My point is, when you understand the temporary nature of the body, temporary nature of this world, my request to you, utilize in bhakti today, not tomorrow. So don't think this guy is telling like this, yes to, but I'll do whatever I want to do. No, please. Why? I have a question for why. So I am thinking, yesterday I was speaking on this. At my age, the only good thing I have done in my life, somebody took me to Hare Krishna program 23 years ago, 22 years. This is my 23rd year. And they told me chant 2 rounds, I did 2, therefore I did 4, the chant 8, I did 8. And eventually I reached 16 rounds. And by their mercy, I never gave it up. So one day doctor told me a couple of years ago, welcome to old age. I said, really, I'm old? I never thought of that. Good. And then I realized that's the only thing I did, a good thing. I was taking initiation from a bona fide guru and chanting rounds. So my point to you, Prahlad is telling, don't waste your life. Accept a spiritual master. I want to tell this story one more story. I went to my first program in New York City. I sat next to a person and I asked, hey, what's your name? He asked me, what is your name? I told my Karmi name. He said, my name is Surya Das. Means, who is your guru? Bhakti Tirtha Swami. I said, how old are you? He said, 21. You're a 21-year-old. You are initiated with Bhakti Swami. I'm almost 30 now. I'm not initiated. You're a million times better than with that day I resolved I should be initiated. Of course, I didn't know that time I would join full time. But I still remember him. This is like year 2000, 20 years ago. 2000 January actually. Do you know this Corona? Not even one person knew. There's 100,000 people who left January, February, March. Not even one person knew in 2 months to come I would be no more. Already finished 3 funerals. I talked to them. I spoke in that. Nobody knew. Please, my request to you, my request to you, if you accept shelter of Krishna, there is a verse, nice verse. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. If you take shelter of Krishna, 2 things will happen. Krishna will give you Vairagyam, right time detachment, Jnanam. They will come. These 2 things will come if you worship Krishna. What will come? Detachment and knowledge. Right time, not now. When you're ready, when you need it, it comes. It comes when you're ready. The most needed time it will come. And Krishna gives you intelligence to handle things also. But if you're not bhakti conscious, if you're not Krishna conscious, you'll be money conscious. You'll be what conscious? You'll be money conscious. Naisham, what is that? I'm sorry. And that verse, he says, Matanna Krishne Paradasutova Mito Vipatyeta Gruhavritanam Adanta Gopi Vishadanta Mistram Punah Punascharvita Charvananam. Prahlad is telling his father, Father, Punascharvita Charvananam, chewing the chewed. My grandfather, he went to school, he went to college, got a job, got married, and he had children. And he thought, I only had children in this life. Let me bring them up. And he brought my father up, and he died. So my father got that bubble gum. He went to college. He got a job. He got married, and he gave birth to us. And as he passed that bubble gum to us. This is what's called chewing the chewed, eating, making, sleeping, and defending, generation after generation after generation. It doesn't mean you need to break it today, but to add Krishna to your life. So Krishna will give you right time, detachment, and knowledge. Utilize in Krishna's service. I want to tell, one day I went to California. This is my last example, I'll finish it. And I happened to meet a billionaire. He was chosen as the CEO of America in 1995-96 by Armstrong and Merrill Lynch. In a very mysterious way, I was connected to him, and he said, come to my home. Okay. Then what happened? I went to his home. He said, I have a guest house. I want to show you. In front of my guest house is a big golf course. One of the famous golf courses of the world. Tiger Woods come there and he plays there. It is just in my courtyard. If I come to my courtyard, you can see the golf course. So I want to take you there. I said, fine. We are going there. And as we are going here, he said, this company is like $300 million. And if I work very hard for 5 years, it'll become $1 billion company, he said that. And sometimes, I have problem controlling my tongue. I said, what is the use? And that person was shocked. He looked at me and said, what do you mean? Then I said, still I didn't. This is our second meeting. I said, sir, at the age of 30, I thought this is all useless. And I joined full time. You're almost 70 now. And you're working on this so much money. Who will come with us? What will come with us? I just, sometimes I cannot control my tongue. I use these words. That person became angry. He's CEO. And he stopped talking. The car was going, climbing. This is the place all the CEOs of the world would stay actually. Actually, opposite to his guest house, that home, he showed that is the home of the CEO of Apple before Steve Jobs. He showed me that. Anyway, so the car was going and I became scared. You don't know what to speak when. If this person tells you to get out of the car, this is California, you don't even, you don't know anybody. It's almost evening actually. It's becoming dark. Then I was praying actually from the core of the heart. The car was going and suddenly he said, "So what do you want me to do?" I said, "Amma, thank God." I said, "Sir, I am not asking you to give up your business. Continue your business, but morning 1 hour, evening 1 hour, just do bhakti. That is the account that will come with you." Again, long pause. Then he said, "In California area, people call me perfectionist. If I give a word, I'll do it. I will try." I said, "Thank God." Inside, I felt he's not asking me to get down the car, So what should I do? I said, "Chant." He said, "Yes." Then, since then, we had a conference call every Friday. Then you can't believe, one day, 2 years later, he arranged a big program with CEOs next to his swimming pool. Only 30 CEOs came. These are like well-known CEOs of California, Silicon Valley. And he told, "Guys, recently on my birthday, I told my wife, I want to, whatever you want to feed, you feed, because I want to follow strictly Dharma, protect 4 regulative principles from today and tomorrow onwards." Yes, I gave it up. And he said, "Past 2 years, ever since I did that, my decision making has become the best. I have not even fired one person. My decision making in the business has become much better now. I encourage all of you to please try this." Actually, one day he called me and said, "I wish I could have met you 20 years ago." I said, "Oh, thank you." And recently we were talking, it was 3 years since he was initiated. He was initiated. So my point to you, but I want to tell you this. One day I went to his home. He came to me and he brought a booklet. He wrote a notes on Bhagavad Gita. I've been preaching for this many years. Not even one person showed me the notes of Bhagavad Gita. Is the first one and last one. Then I realized, wow, that's why he became CEO. And he told me he finished the entire Bhagavatam. He finished. So my point to you, so he's continuing his business, but he's accumulating every day. We have every Friday now also, after 5 years. He understood in his life, this is the thing that will come with him. He chants 32 rounds. On busy days, it's 20 rounds. CEO, still a CEO. So my request to all of you, please take it up and give it to others. After 20, 30 years, this is the bank account that will come with you and you are so happy. If Abraham Gopal Prabhu will not like it, whatever I'm telling. One time in our temple, that 1 year he just maintained our temple. Before the temple manifested, he would give his pay slip, that salary check. I said, wow, what a personality. I'm sorry, Abraham Gopal, to tell you this. I was telling recently somebody.
Questions. We were thinking if we can take some questions.
Yeah, I'm finishing it. So, he's married, he has kids, and he's taking time out of it to preach to all of you this pure bhakti path. Just the best preaching you can do, be an example. If wife and today, what is that? We preach a lot, but have a nice, loving relationship with family members with gratitude. Just go and tell your family member, father, mother, or wife, or husband. Just stop this whole program and say, thank you very much. I'm very grateful to you. See what happens tomorrow. You know? So just go and tell right now. If they are next to you, say, thank you very much. I'm very grateful to you. Their face lights up. Their face lights up. You tell this to your mother will cry, father will cry. So that if you have a love for Krishna, that love will manifest in terms of service to others. But what is the best service? Give Krishna to others. That's what I want to tell. Thank you very much. Spoken anything wrong, excuse me as your servant. But very grateful.
Thank you so much for nicely sharing, so many things. So devotees had a lot of questions in the last few days, and I think this is a good opportunity. So whoever would like to ask questions from Prabhu, please unmute your mics and you can ask. So Prabhuji, I want to actually point out about one of the devotees family here, Tarachand Prabhu and Deepika Mataji. They recently, in the last 6-8 months, have been chanting 16 rounds. And their son is also now chanting 16 rounds. Last Ekadashi, he did 64 rounds.
Amazing.
So he's actually, he's the one, his mother was telling, he's the one who looks at his mother if she's not able to chant 32 rounds on the day of Ekadashi. He looks like, he gives faces that why have you not chanted yet 32 rounds, something like that.
Amazing. Amazing.
Come here.
Ryan is there.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
can you ask, can you show your video?
Yes, Prabhuji, he's here.
Yes, Prabhuji, उसकी वीडियो दिखा दो प्रभुजी को और blessings ले लो प्रभुजी से.
No, that's okay.
And he had a very important question which he asked yesterday. I didn't get a chance to, really answer and understand. You've been dealing with children for so many years, a lot of devotee children. So this is Tarachand Prabhu and Ryan is behind Ryan Prabhu. So Ryan, can you ask your question to Yugal Kishore Prabhu about, the school? So he was asking some question. Go ahead. Can you loudly ask?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So my question was about, so in my school and probably other schools, they have like quizzes on material things such as movies, singers, songs. And so how should we approach to those questions, and how should we know how to stay away from those people that encourage those stuff? And yeah, basically that's my question.
If he doesn't need to, he doesn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
No, if he doesn't need to, no need. Because actually, let me tell you, in American schools I've seen, you have to read some novels. I've seen this again and again. These
Right.
novels are very, very bad actually. No, I heard some are good, but anyone has any experience like this? Anybody studied in America? You have to read these novels, and in the schools especially, I've seen that actually.
Most of us, we didn't study America, so we don't know. That's why we may be able to answer.
Okay, but this is the thing. In America, children have to read the books, and they have to answer also. These are all novels. And many times I told them, tell the teachers we have Mahabharata. We'll read that and you give questions from that. So my answer to that boy is, if he doesn't need to read, doesn't need to take part in that competition, he doesn't need to. But if he has to, it's part of the curriculum. What can he do? So, but what is that? I have one school. one father went to the school, and what they did, heavy music, Rajogun music. This father went and told the principal, why is this Rajogun music? The principal said, all our children are Tamogun, they come in with the sleepy faces. So to wake them up, to bring them into action, we show this Rajogun music. Then the father said, my son is in the mode of goodness. He doesn't need this. Then the teacher, then he said, either give us a free time, make sure our son doesn't need to come and attend this, or you stop it. He went and told the teachers. America, one advantage is they listen to you. Definitely they listen to you. If parents tell the teachers, like, these are not, my son is not, doesn't need to be trained in this, they allow it. Tarachandra, you're listening?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
So if it is not good, if it is definitely not good for it is not good for his spiritual health, you can tell the parent, you can tell the teachers, and they're obliged, they listen.
Yeah,
Not like
probably
India.
we have not spoken so far in that direction, so probably that's a good idea, Prabhuji. And I think I agree, as you said, here teachers listen, so that's true. If you request them, they do.
You can tell them and they listen. For sure they listen. We want to bring up the child in a very, very spiritually healthy way, and these things are very detrimental, so we don't like it, and they agree. Okay.
Yeah.
So one more question, Prabhuji. Ryan, can you ask your other question from the 17th chapter, which you were asking?
My question was that in the Bhagavad Gita, the 17th chapter, the 4th shloka, it talks about how people in the mode of goodness worship demigods, people in the mode of passion worship demons, and the people in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So, Prabhuji, he was able to explain it very good. So, I wanted to know a bit more from you too. Why like this happens, and why does Krishna say that?
Okay. First of all, you should know mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. These three modes are there in every one of us. Ignorance is represented by helplessness. You don't know what is good, what is bad. In fact, you think good as bad, bad as good. So they resort to, for example, they do all wrong things. So they smoke, and you say smoking is not good. No, it's very good. So they don't know what is good, what is bad. That's why they resort to that worship, the ghosts and hobgoblins. Then passion. Passion means sense enjoyment. You want to enjoy your senses, more and more. You are the center. Anybody who gives you that. Prabhupada says, in Second World War, one person was worshipping Hitler because of the Second World War, there was a lot of need for grains. And in the black market, he could black market everything. So he started making money because of that. And the reason for that is Hitler. So he started doing arti for Hitler. So he doesn't have any conception because Hitler is the cause for his money. He was worshipping it. Samely, what is that? The next one, Satugun, Devatas. Devatas means Satugun is little better than these two. But you also have some desire. You want to get things from them because in material world, goodness is not fully pure. It is contaminated with passion and ignorance. So you approach the others, and you worship for so longevity. Actually, what is that exact thing you said? The Devatas, Abhiram Gopal, what is that?
Yes, Prabhuji. Mode of goodness, worship the demigods.
So yeah, so what that mode of goodness, they worship Devatas because they want something, not only in this world, but the higher worlds also. Because the mode of goodness is better, but it's not fully pure. So I want a life, not just 30 years, but beyond. If I go to heavenly planets, I'll enjoy for millions of years. But see, the one good point you have to appreciate, they have a higher conception of afterlife. They know they are not this body. But because of that enjoyment is there, because of the raja, as a passion and ignorance presence, they are approaching their demigods, and they're looking for a higher enjoyment. You're understanding? But it is beyond body, beyond this body. You're getting it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. But there is one more thing. Sattvam Shuddham Vasudeva Sabditam. But if you're transcendental, you'll understand. Even going to heavenly planets, after some time you have to come down. It's temporary. But if you approach Krishna, bhakti is eternal. If you approach Krishna, bhakti is eternal. That person will worship Krishna. Okay?
Yes.
Anyone has any question or comment?
Who else has any questions? Everybody can ask whatever questions are there. Prabhuji, have a few more minutes. So, Prabhuji, I'll ask. Natasha Mataji, you want to ask? You can ask.
Prabhuji, how does faith get stronger in the whole process and everything?
So, Prabhuji, just to introduce, Natasha Mataji is joining from which state? Tennessee?
From Tennessee, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Jackson, Tennessee.
Tennessee. One of my college friend, like we were together in college, his wife, Nirve Prabhu is here. So they are both doctors in Tennessee. Prabhuji is a pediatric cardiologist and Mataji is gynonc, like ladies cancer doctor. So both of them are chanting 16 rounds for some time now, recently started, and they are really attending our conferences here. Now we are having through Zoom. So Mataji, please continue with your question.
Associate with those people who have faith. Very first thing is, if you want to increase your faith, associate with those people who have faith. Second thing is knowledge. When sun comes, the darkness is dispelled. You're doctors. I'm sorry, I don't know you're a doctor. You're in the front lines too. I'm sure you see whatever I'm talking about, disease and death. The temporary nature of the world is more visible to you than us, right? And but Krishna says in Gita, pasyati apasyati. You see, but you don't see. It's because of that strong desire to enjoy. But when a devotee prays for you, you come to the path of bhakti. So hang on to that the association. Prasangam ajaram pasam atmano kavayo vidu sayeva sadhu sukrutam moksha dwaram apavrutam. If you, Prabhupada says, a person is very attached to smoking, when the nicotine levels go down, he longs for smoking. Where is the bidi, where is cigarette? Likewise, if we long for the association of devotees, then the doors for liberation, they're open. Hang on with people who have faith and read books, read Prabhupada books regularly and chant. Of course, you're already chanting, continue. And pray for more faith Krishna gives. And when you serve devotees, Krishna gives you taste for hearing. When you hear, you understand, you acquire knowledge. Before you becoming a medico, you have no idea. But what you did, you took the association of the professors and you read the books. And the professors showed practicals to you. Then whatever the knowledge you acquired, it's a reality for you because of the books and the professors. And of course, the environment of the college. Likewise, here also, associate with the devotees and read bhakti books and read scriptures and be in that environment. Because you're in the college environment of medicine, you got it. Be in the college environment of bhakti, you'll become a bhakti yogi. Does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask one more thing, Prabhuji?
Please.
Prabhu, so like here, we don't have a temple here. Nearest temple is, it's not a ISKCON temple, it's in Memphis, which is about an hour, 20 minutes away. Nearest ISKCON temple is probably in, Murfreesboro, which is about 3 hours away. There's a congregation there. How to do service? Like how can we benefit, how can we do service when there is no temple, no, not much devotees, then how to serve the devotees?
Yes, question, Prabhuji. First of all, the world has become a global village. I know so can you imagine with the Skype call, with this Zoom calls, we are here connecting to everyone. The best service you can do, weekends, call all your friends, all your colleagues, and say, let us read one verse of Gita. If you don't know how to give lecture, just read. Rather than hanging and talking about Karuna, talk about Krishna Karuna. So, and let us discuss this. One doctor told me, when they came to know the limitations of the medicine, they said they were very frustrated. To overcome that, they started reading Bhagavad Gita books. And today, wife and husband both are very, very, reputed doctors. But, they understood they are doing their job as an offering to Krishna. So you should know, service doesn't mean you should go and do. You should go to, if you go to temple and do service, that's fantastic. Do service to your patients. You can see Krishna is there in their heart also. Just go an extra mile. Florence Nightingale, right? And Florence Nightingale, everyone nurse was doing service because nurse is paid. But Florence Nightingale was doing service because she was seeing genuinely the compassion. If you have affection for Krishna, it is called love. You turn back and show that affection to the fellow living being, it is called a service. Same affection. Actually, let me tell you, just to do this after the call is over, genuinely say thank you to your wife. Say I'm very grateful to you. Or she comes and tells you she's very grateful. Your home will become spiritual world, Prabhu. Anybody comes to your home, they can see that, they can relish it. So bhakti doesn't mean a tilak on the face and a kantimala. Bhakti means a attitude of gratitude. And believe me, without even your knowledge, you'll have 15, 20, 30 people. They'll just start following. You can open a center in your place, actually. What if there is no center? What can you just start one center? So don't just serve patients the body, serve their soul also. Of course, there are limitations in America. I'm not denying that. Definitely cannot do that, no doubt. But when they see an angel in you, it's very easy to see that if you exhibit that quality, unknowingly exhibit that qualities. So at least hang on with the friends and in the weekends, the like-minded people, and read Gita. Just offer food to Krishna and just feed them with prasad without their knowledge. They will change. What is devotee's happiness? If one person gives up bad habits, one person takes up bhakti, that is our happiness. If one person starts stops behaving like a beast, and first he becomes a human being first, then he becomes a devotee, that is our happiness. Let us become humans first, then devotees next. Right? So, what is it? Preaching by example is the best preaching. Not words, but actions. That's what I can tell. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody else?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Aarti Mataji is.
Hare Krishna, Kishore Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for coming and talking to us. I have one, I don't know, it's very beneath you to answer this, but how to control your senses? even though I know that I don't have to get mad at somebody or get angry at somebody or feel bad about something, but still I do.
प्रभुजी अभी एक क्वेश्चन आई गया तो मैं इसको थोड़ा elaborate कर देता हूँ. I just wanted to share, like, you know, when Krishna is explaining the Bhagavad Gita, I think it's the 6th chapter, where Arjuna says that the process you are telling me pretty much seems impracticable to me. So after attending your weekend retreat, last 5 days, we've been speaking on that only, you know, analyzing each and every point and verses we are, you know, taking from Bhagavatam. And, you know, it just feels so difficult to practically apply. Prabhuji gave relationship lecture and how, you know, control of anger and ego and all of that. And the more we are trying to go deep and trying to practice, the more we are finding it more and more difficult. So that was, you know, an extension of what Bharti Mataji was asking, I think.
Join the club. So, okay, Amma, it's very easy to speak when somebody is listening, but very difficult, even for me also. Sometimes even I also lose my tongue. But you know what I do? I have a fear it'll ruin my bhakti. Then I'll go and say, I'm sorry, Prabhu, excuse me, forgive me. I started this recently, you know, as recently as possible. That's why if you remember my answer to that Prabhuji who asked question before, I said first become a human being, then become a devotee. So let us all become human beings first. Devotee is a big word. And I agree with you. The conditioning is there for billions of lifetimes. Just by chanting for past couple of years, do you think it'll change? Ayurveda says if the disease is there for 10 years, the treatment should be there for 10 years too. So we don't need to chant billions of lifetimes by Srila Prabhupada mercy, we don't need. But there is a message. We need to have patience. First thing is you need to consciously make an effort. When a thought which you don't like comes in your mind, before you put into action, you should feel bad for it. And psychologists says this. You know, any bad thought, anger, lust, greed, envy, whatever, you have to make the choice to make it out. Thinking, feeling, and willing. Not that somebody does wrong, you erupt. Think of it, you feel it, and you will it. Then it comes into action. You agree? Thinking, feeling, and willing. If your sadhana is very good, you can stop, you can hold on to yourself at any stage. Thinking, feeling, and willing. Sometimes you go out of it. Like you have spoken. You just Actually, if you remember that thing, whatever I told is majority. The experience. When we don't like, when we have problem with somebody else, we don't like something in them before even the problem starts. The way they talk, the way they walk, the way they eat, something in them we don't like. Anyway, my point to you, so first thing is they are devotees. Krishna is there in the heart. If we offend, no, you have been chanting for so long. Sincerely, do you want to ruin it by your 5 minutes of 2 minutes of losing sense control? What a powerful Maya is. I cannot use the word cruel, but how cruel she is. And we are working, getting up in the morning, chanting our rounds, controlling all the things. And we become angry and we lose all the credits. I mean, we don't, but we lose for sure. Do you want to? What I'm telling now, I told myself, no. Then, so let me work on myself first. So if you start working today on yourself, it takes time. Tomorrow it will not happen. Amma, let me tell you, spiritual life is simple. That's why more than, but not easy. Spiritual is simple, not easy. We need to have a lot of patience. Enthusiasm, determination, everyone will have. Patience, patience, patience. You know, you're understanding? So become humble. You know, what is Prahlad? Hiranyakasipu, why I brought the extreme case, still he's not happy. Why Prahlad is happy? Pure devotee. We watch movies, villain beats 100, hero beats 100 villains, and he goes with the heroine. He is not the true hero. And if they continue the movie, 3 months later, they would divorce only. That is the movie. They don't show that. But real hero is the one, not who beats 100 villains and go with the heroine. Real hero is the one who controls the mind and senses. If you do that, you are a hero. If I don't do that, I am not. Try your best. Holy name is powerful. Krishna's mercy is powerful. You know, that's why we have a weapon. Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Try your best. Don't expect overnight result. If you get overnight result, you take it cheap. Krishna doesn't give it so easily, so cheaply. And we struggle. But slowly. Every mantra you chant is an eternal credit. Every service you do is an eternal credit. But when you lose the control, and you say, please excuse me, Krishna understands that. He'll not abruptly fail. Krishna is a very soft-hearted father. Krishna is not a hard-hearted master. Have faith in Krishna. Continue. With all the enough insufficiencies, inadequacies, with all our impurities in our heart, Krishna is allowing us to, Lord Chaitanya is Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is magnanimous. The mantra is given by Lord Chaitanya actually, the incarnation of this age. Have faith in Lord Chaitanya. Continue. Without your knowledge, you will make progress. Okay?
Bharati Mataji, children class for like almost 1.5 hours for many weeks, actually months now. And all the children are so liking it so much. They, always are telling. So Bharati Mataji is doing a lot of service, chanting of obviously 16 rounds for many months now, year actually. Last Rath Yatra, Mataji started chanting 16 rounds, and both the kids are chanting almost like 7 to 10 rounds every.
Prabhu, Ashok Prabhu.
Prabhuji, yeah, I will call him. Hold on.
Okay, no problem. It's solid 10 o'clock, but so Bhabram Prabhu will end it. It's 10 o'clock.
We have 2 minutes.
Okay.
Prabhuji, we don't get you that often, so please, sorry for the delay. So Prabhu takes rest early. So if anybody has any other question, please, you can ask him right now. Tarachand Prabhu, you want to ask? Tarachand Prabhu is, asking a lot of good questions. Prabhuji, practical questions he asks. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Prabhuji. Maybe we can give a chance to other devotees as well.
Any other devotees want to ask question? Okay, I'll ask Prabhuji one quick question. So we are doing, Prabhuji, the shloka with the Navda Bhakti shloka, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Archanam That Prabhupada mentions about so many like offenses, especially like offenses by deity worship and offenses, the holy name offenses we usually recite every day, so we know. But then there are so many offenses which Prabhupada is mentioning. Almost there are like 100 offenses for deity worship from different sources. So then, when it comes to practical application, Prabhupada is mentioning specifically for grahasthas, but then, these offenses seems almost like unavoidable to be able to take care of, the deities in a daily setting. So sometimes, people get scared and they just, kind of stop deity worship, or minimize or don't spend time in front of devotees just because of the scare of getting offenses. So probably that was like a doubt.
Answer is home deity worship. There is a lot of flexibility, but of course we have to be sincere. It is Krishna. But 32 offenses from Padma Puran, 32 total 64 offenses actually seva paradas. And if you chant nicely, these seva paradas are counteracted. And but of course Krishna has come to your home. Temple deity rules are very strict, but home not that much. You can have at least one worship and one offering. And Prabhupada says if you have Gaurnita, just put a glass of water and say thank you, and that is enough. So home deity worship is relatively very, very flexible. So one doesn't need to fear a lot and give up the deity worship. No need, and definitely there is no need, because Krishna is very magnanimous. That's why I said Krishna is not a hard-hearted master. He's a soft-hearted father. But of course we should not exploit it.
And Prabhuji, what about Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities?
Jagannath is also Jagannath. Anyone can offer anything. Jagannath is very merciful. Radha Krishna is very Radha Krishna is a little difficult. That's why I never encouraged anybody for Radha Krishna. But Jagannath, Gaurnita is most magnanimous. I know. But Gaurnita is most magnanimous. Jagannath is little one level up only. As long as we are sincere, Krishna understands. Deity worship means two things for home deity worship. Punctuality, cleanliness, that's it. Be punctual. And you have one offering, one arati, that's it.
Thank you, Prabhuji. If anybody has anything else, so Prabhuji, Ashok Prabhu has come. Ashok Prabhu, you want to say something, Prabhu? Yes. So anybody else has anything else? Otherwise, we'll end it here. Prabhuji is,
you are able to see why I cannot see him.
I
could see. I think he's sleepy. Yeah, okay. Ashok Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Dandavad.
Prabhuji, yeah, active at 4. By 10 o'clock, his battery is gone.
Okay, no, we can take rest. Okay, we'll end it, Prabhuji. Very, very grateful. Thank you, everyone.
His grace, Prabhu ki jai.
Hey, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.